Yes, sir.
Okay. So today I'll be telling you more about how to draft a research paper. So the content is basically for beginners as well as experts and professionals. You can just note all the points, like how to draft your paper. It may be a review article, conference paper, journal article, anything. You can apply to all type of papers. Fine. So understanding research paper, this we have discussed in the last session. So before writing a paper, you should have a certain objective or purpose uh, before writing a paper. And if you write your paper, like that paper may be a part of your academic requirement or completing your UG bachelor's or master's program or any other thing, then we need to understand like how to structure a paper, and I'll be telling you the drafting steps. So let me begin with the types of research papers we have. So here I have shortlisted or outlined 5 types of papers here. So I hope this slide is visible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so first one is preprint, second is research paper or original research article, then we have review article, then conceptual or concept based papers, then conference paper. So what is preprints? Anybody want to comment? Fine, so let me proceed. So preprint are nothing but the initial draft which we write before submitting it to conference or before submitting it to journals or before submitting it to some anybody. So it's a preliminary version of your research article. So usually early career researchers and other professors, they used to do preprint publication first, followed by journal or conference publications. So this is because if they share their research to the scientific community, so through the platforms, it may be archive or any other preprint platform, so they will get sufficient feedback on that particular research. So this includes appreciation as well as criticism. So based on the criticism and feedback, they'll try to improvise the research, followed by they'll go for conference or journal publication. So that is what we call as preprint. And next we have research papers. So research papers, as you guys know, that is original research article that includes detailed studies, original findings, a detailed analysis or details derivations, or that involves the entire derivation, the formulations and all. So that is what we call as research papers. And a review article. So review article is nothing but it's a kind of commentary, like studying some 100 to 150 articles or 200 articles. So based on that, suggesting something new, suggesting or recommending something new. That includes data collection, assessment, analysis. So it depends on the type of article we have. So it's basically a commentary, commenting on a research or papers, anything. And then third one, like fourth one, we have conceptual papers. So conceptual papers are nothing but the designs or the prototype which are at proof of concept stage. Let's say I want to build a launch vehicle. So that launch vehicle will be designed to carry higher masses to translunar orbit or a transmars orbit. In that case, it will be difficult for startups like us and new startups due to lack of funding or funding series, like designing such prototype and testing it or validating it is very difficult, right? In that case, what we will do is, so we will assume the dimension and then we will propose the CAD model or 3D model of the launch vehicle, and we will go for simulation how it performs. So those are all called conceptual based papers. So anyone can write conceptual based papers. So right now the difficulty whatever like we have with our research community is, so initially we have ideas can't be patented. I hope you guys know we cannot apply for patent for ideas. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Ideas or concepts. So in that case, what you can do is you can just provide some computer based like CAD models or 2D designs explaining each and every sections, marking each and every components of that particular design or the proposal, the thing. You can draft it like a conceptual paper, and you can go for conference publications. Usually journals won't accept concept based papers, but conference do. So you can go ahead for conference publications first. Post that, you can do simulation. You can provide some technical feasibility of that particular design, and so with detailed assessment, detailed analysis, data and all, you can go ahead for journal publications later. So this is how the system works, and you can use this method. You can apply this method for your research or your ideas. And finally, conference papers. So collaboratively, if we include all these things, uh, just a refined version of preprint, initial draft of research paper, or 30 to 40% completed version of review article or conceptual article, if we submit it to conference and if we present, that paper will be published as conference papers. Okay, and here what I want to mention is, so this is please listen carefully. Conference papers are not entirely or completely peer reviewed. Just 20 to 30% is reviewed. So they'll what they do is they just encourage researchers and they just welcome new ideas or potential research ideas to be presented in front of technical chairs and lots of audiences for better outreach and recognition. So these are all types of research paper. I hope this is clear with everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as part of your internship program, you may be working on any type of paper. So it's up to you. Like if you want to complete your internship within 1 month, then you can go for a short review article or concept based paper. And if you want to extend your internship to 3 to 6 months or more than 6 months, then you can go ahead for original research article, which involves lots of readings, literature reviews, analysis, assessment, right? So just try to understand the types of research paper we have. Next, what's the significance of structuring your paper? Can anybody tell me, like, is it necessary to focus more on structuring a paper at initial stage?
Can you repeat it?
My question is it necessary to focus more on structuring a paper?
Like, from my point of view, sir, it is important to structure your papers if you are going for any journal, because every journal have their own kind of format. So it is important.
Okay, that is format or template. Let's say you have your report with you, then based on that journal template, we can swap our contents. So my point here is, so we need to focus more on structuring the
Sir,
paper based on these
it
four. Yeah.
sir, like it will give us more clarity if we have a structure. Like
Okay.
that's what I was trying to say earlier.
All right. All right. So my point is, so nowadays the competition is high. Everyone is running behind publications and the count of publication. And since we have AI tools, like everyone is using the tools to structure their paper. So in this case, it's very important for us, like beginners or early career researchers, to focus more on structuring your initial paper in order to avoid rejection from journals as well as conferences. So why this is important? Because it enhances clarity, improves readability, conveys research effectively, and maintains logical flow of arguments. So the clarity is important point. Readability part is, so you don't know, like anybody can read your paper. It may be people from beginner level or people from advanced level or people from mid range level. So you need to structure your paper in such a way that if anybody reads, they must get your points, what you are trying to communicate or what you are trying to say. So we need to focus on that readability part. And yeah, the third one is the conveying research effectively. So nowadays, if you look at research papers from researchers across reputed institutions, they used to um, write their research things in very complex manner. So if you are a beginner, it will be very difficult for you to understand each and every lines, right? So initially, when you are doing your first paper, so I recommend you guys to go for a moderate level of keywords or technical keywords for writing your research part. Okay, so that thing we need to focus more on. And then logical flow of arguments. Let's say if you are writing a review article where you will be listing out lots of questions or lots of arguments, and that arguments you will be addressing in upcoming sections or upcoming paragraph or upcoming contents. So you need to ensure the logical flow is in correct pattern so that readers can correlate to your questions as well as answers. So these are all four important things we need to consider before structuring a paper. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. So next is top sections of a paper. So this is very basic thing. So apart from these sections, we can add additional sections if you want, but these are all very basic things. So just note down the things. First we have title, abstract. Before abstract we have the name of the authors in proper order. Then after abstract we have earlier works or literature review. That is very important. Post that we have scientific background, then research methodologies, and then acknowledgement of data or any sort of sensitive information. So these sections you can add it later after the after conclusion thing. It's not mandatory to have these sections between all these top sections. Post that we have research analysis, outlining results, then discussing the results, followed by conclusion and references. If you want, you can add few more sections as well, like supplementary information. If you have your history of publications or any publications related to your present research, you can add it under supplementary resource. And then if your research is funded, then you have to add funding sources or funding information. In addition, if two or more people wants to work on the same project or paper, in that case it is mandatory to add one more section called conflict of interest. Okay, conflict of interest in the sense, if we have 3 to 4 authors in a paper, if we write the author has no conflict of interest to report in this paper, which means everyone has contributed equally to the paper drafting or paper writing. Okay, so this is one way. And if you guys want to mention the contribution separately, then you can write a detailed statement stating that the first author has done work on collecting papers, doing assessment, and drafting the entire article up to 30 to 40%. Then the second author has completed his work in refining the content, checking grammatical errors, validating, cross checking and all, so which contributes to 20 to 30%, and remaining percentage is contributed by the third author. So that is what we call as conflict of interest. So what we are trying to ensure is nobody has any objections in future if the article gets more citation or visibility or recognition in future. Am I clear with this conflict of interest point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes,
these
sir.
are all, yeah, these are all top sections of the paper. So let's discuss each and every sections in detail. So the first one is crafting an effective title. So what do you think? Is it necessary, or do we need to focus more on title rather than the body of the research paper or the main content of the research paper?
So if we have a like we want if we invest some decent amount of time on creating an effective title, it may catch the eyes of the reader and create a few interest like to read it. Like it should be not too long, it should not be too short.
Mm-hmm.
It should be a decent and there should be a catchy line like a something like the line which create a interest in your mind
Okay.
or a curiosity to read that paper.
Yes, definitely. Like for the best example is if you look for papers published in nature journals. So you can just look at the titles of the paper. So it may be the question, the title may be a question or a statement or like it depends on the type of paper. You can just check it out. And getting paper published in nature is very difficult because we need 2 to 3 references, like referees, where people need to write their personal mail to the reviewers for reviewing paper, not accepting paper, for reviewing paper, and uh, just what to say, asserting or recommending those research for nature related journals. So let's talk about this title part. So from my experience, from my point of view, so you need to consider these 3 terms first, like 2 terms. First one is your research should reflect your the research novelty. Okay, so you can read the description given here. A good title must reflect the uniqueness of your research and its application in the field, in the respective field. So the keyword is we must focus more on the uniqueness of research and its application. Okay, so these 2 keywords we must include while writing the title of the paper. And the second thing is you need to incorporate or you need to add essential keywords, scientific keywords for crafting your title. So I've given one example of my paper, a comparative study on orbital launch systems for human missions to Moon and Mars. So the title explains, so it's a comparative study of launchers projected for human class missions to Moon and Mars. So we have the uniqueness of research as well as applications. So the same title we can write it in simple form. Let's say comparison of a comparative study of launch vehicles or a case study on launch vehicles. That's all. Right. I hope you're getting my
Yes, sir.
point. Yeah, so in this way you need to craft your title. And one more advantage associated with this like title crafting is if you have or if you draft your title like this, then you won't end with title clashes with the existing article or previously published article. Am I correct? Yes.
Like, sir, I have some question. Like, what if our title like clashes with another author title, and we get to know about this when we are in the conference, like not in start. Like, suppose we are doing a research and another person is like completed that some other research with the same name of that title, and when we go to that journal they said like this research is published like 2 days ago with the same and then it is clashes,
Okay.
then we need to change our name or not?
We need to change our title actually.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so like it's very difficult to predict or to get some advanced information on the titles or the work submitted to some journals because journals don't disclose the number of submission or the number of paper or the title of the paper which they have received, but it's necessary to focus on this title part to avoid clashes. So that's what I'm trying to say. So let's focus on the second thing, abstract part, crafting a compelling abstract. Anybody have like few of you have done your research and research writing. So apart from the points whatever mentioned here, so can you guys comment on like how to write your abstract part?
Sir, in my case, I try to introduce my research and give some over summary in that part, and in the end of that abstract part, I try to put a question uh, very interesting question which create a curiosity to read the whole research paper.
Okay.
I make sure to make it not too long. It should be decent and a very introductive part with some decent information.
Okay, that's good. So anybody else want to comment?
So basically, that the abstract is a brief summarizing of our paper. Like whatever we have done in this paper, we can add in the abstract page.
Okay, so I have a last question related to this abstract part. So how many of you write your abstract at the beginning of your report? Like before writing your main content, how many of you used to write your abstract part?
No, I add the abstract part in the end of the research.
Okay, guys, like I have this PDF, this presentation in full
Sir,
screen mode, so it's very difficult for me to see like whoever raising hands here. So please
sir,
unmute yourself and talk. Yeah.
I write my abstract in the start. Like I don't know it is a problem, so sorry. I write written in start.
Okay, okay, that's not a problem. So I just want to know like how you guys are writing. So fine, let me explain. So the first point is length matters. So in the abstract part, you need to ensure that you write concise summary with precision, um, highlighting your key findings and your unique contribution, and try to maintain simplicity in your abstract part. Okay, so in the abstract part, you should not write some basic introduction. Like if you are writing a research paper on launch vehicle, you should not write definition. Like a launch vehicle is a vehicle that delivers satellite from Earth to any orbits. So like that, basic information you should not add in the abstract part. So it should be very short, concise, and precise, like with precise information. Okay, so what I recommend is instead of writing the abstract part at the like in the beginning, so forget the abstract first. So write your introduction or the main body content or the entire paper. Then after completing your report, then write your abstract thing. So then it will be easier for you to summarize your work in short. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
I have a question. Can we include a background related to our like uh, whole research? Suppose why we need quantum computers or why we need uh, a technology which can enhance human life or help in other subjects, something like that. If we are working on a certain topic,
Okay. So
can we add?
now now what I'm trying to say is, let's say you have done some research on your own field, quantum thing. Okay. So I'm asking you, can you summarize like what you have done in your project? So what will you say?
Sir, I will basically summarize my project, tell it's what is the project about and what is its need, like why it is important.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, because basically, I didn't know the abstract should be in the start of the research. So I basically generally write my abstract in the start of the project, and then in the end, I add that question which I previously mentioned you. And today I get to know about it should be in the end. So I was little bit confused.
Okay, so I usually recommend if you want to write additional information. So there is one section which I have already mentioned, scientific background. So in that, under that section, you can write it in brief. But in terms of abstract, you should be writing. You should write in very concise thing, because it's very important, because other researchers, they don't have time to read your entire paper. So looking at your title and abstract part, they'll come to know whether they has to go for reading your entire paper or not. In some cases, if you look at LCV related journals, they used to provide graphical abstract for each and every paper, the main graph that reflects the results of the entire study. So it may be a graph, it may be a chart, or it may be a illustrative image or anything, because that helps readers to decide. Okay, so that's why it's very important to write your abstract in very short. So do not exaggerate your findings, and do not add any basic definitions.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So I hope this is clear for everyone. Any doubts here?
No, sir.
All right. Now the third thing is literature review. If you are writing a review article, then you will be writing literature review. And if you are doing some research article or analysis based paper, then you can mention the same term like earlier works. Okay, so conducting a literature review. So while writing these sections, you need to consider this four, 3 to 4 things here. First things we have discussed already, identifying research gaps. So I've already mentioned you like what are all methods we have to identify research problems or research gaps. And then you need to compare the previous research with the present research. Okay, so that's the thing. And then you need to summarize the significant findings and how your research is going to create impact on future research. Okay, so these are all 4 things. Can anybody tell me how to identify research problem based on last 2 sessions? Like explain, like summarize in short, just 2 to 3 lines, or in terms of pointers, no problem. Anyone?
Sir, can I say?
Yeah.
Like I will be wrong. Like to find a problem in that research paper, why not we first go for their introductory part or the abstract part? Like generally, scientists like researcher used to go there and think like we need to invest time in this research paper or not. Or either way, we can use take that research paper and go to AI and ask him simply like what are the defaults you are seeing, or extract the information of this research paper.
Mm-hmm.
Then we can find out like whether there is a problem or not.
Yeah, that is tool based work, which you can do no problem. So basically what I'm trying to say is, if you go for manual identification, that will help you to gain some experience.
So just need to then, sir, we have one issue. Like we need to read that whole research paper.
Okay, so that's what I recommend. um, yeah, go for manual one, then cross check the same with AI, or else go for AI, then cross check the same with manual identification. So that would help you a lot.
Okay, sir. So like the answer was like to go for and read the whole research.
At least for your first or second research, go for manual identification or manual reading.
Okay, sir.
That's difference. Like reading or analyzing papers using tools, and reading and analyzing papers manually. So you'll understand if and only if you read the paper. Just give a try
Sometimes,
first.
sir,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the research is written in like a high level of English. Sir, personally, like there was a research when I was researching about some like nature stuff. So there was a research which is like really hard to read. Like there was a very every keyword I need to find it, go for AI, like to understand what is the meaning of this and that. So it was really difficult. So that's why I suggest that first step. But I will sure make sure to go for the manual one.
Okay, so I hope after reading that paper, you might have learned lots of keywords that will be helpful for you in drafting your future research, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so so that's the point.
Sir, I think for the research problems, like how to find problems.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, we have to start with our interest.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, ask ourselves like what topics excite me, then what areas I have enjoyed studying the most. Then is there a problem in the world or in science I wish to solve? Like in example, like if I am working on cosmology, I am interested in cosmology. So I may be drawn to dark energy and the universe and gravitational waves. So then we have to read extensively like the literature review, and we have to focus on gaps in knowledge, conflicting theories, and future work sections for the papers. Uh, so use for like the user sites like Google Scholar, Archive, Science Direct, Spincher's Link. Uh, so then we have to look for the gaps or questions. Like I have to pay attention to the unexplained phenomena and the techniques or theories that haven't been
Mm-hmm.
applied in any area, and question the questions author mentioned but not answered. Like in papers, we have seen that most of the authors they have mentioned the questions but not the answers. Like example, most studies on the holographic dark energy model assume flat universe conditions. So what we extend this to a non-flat case with observational constants like this. So then talk to the experts or mentors, discuss with professors, researchers, yeah, even people working on in industry,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and then join the workshops, webinar, and I've been asked them, okay, what are the current open problems in field? What do they think the field is heading? Is the problem is like socially handling or not?
Got it.
So then we have to combine the ideas and try to solve these problems.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yes.
So what the same thing I want to repeat, like if you read manually some papers, that will give you idea to write your own article from like based on the same concept. Okay, so at least for your first research, go for manual reading. So that's my recommendation. So next, let's talk more about the scientific background. Okay, so just there is a small difference between literature review and scientific background. Can anybody comment?
Sir, I guess literature review is the summary or the like summation of the all the books. It be scientific or unscientific. It like it contain everything, every context that you read so far. But a scientific background is like the scientific part, like the laws and the
Yes, correct.
rules which are supporting your research.
Yes,
It should be mentioned in that part.
yes, that's correct. So it's scientific, that is unscientific. So here you will be adding necessary background information like providing essential background knowledge. Uh, that's crucial for your present findings, and you need to demonstrate like how your present research align with the modern technological trends and how important it is, then you need to contextualize your research, like um, how far your research enhances credibility. So you need to focus on these points. Like basically it's nothing but writing the scientific law or the core thing which inspired you to do your present research. Let's say if I want to write a research article on launch vehicle, then in the scientific background I'll be writing more about Silvosky rocket equation. So that is, I hope you know, right, that rocket equation.
Yes,
And
sir.
yeah, if I'm going to write more on this gravitational waves or some gravity related concepts, then definitely I'll be writing about Einstein's theory, Einstein's prediction on gravitational waves, and how Gibbs Thorne used his method to detect gravitational waves. So that will be the core part which I'll be writing under the scientific background concepts. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Sir, can we, like, suppose we are conducting a simulation through the coding. So, like, if we have to add code, so it will be in scientific or in literature.
So if I'm not wrong, what you're trying to say is if you are using some codes, if you add the same code under scientific background.
Yes, sir. Like, I'm asking to add it where.
See, if you have codes for up to 4 to 5 pages, then it's not recommended to add the entire code in your paper, because that will drastically increase your paper length. So better what you can do is you can just compile all these codes and then deposit it to some repository, data repositories, or repositories like GitHub. Then you can add the link, or you can mention um, some like the information on sources, so that is recommended, that is ideal.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so just try to understand the difference between literature review and scientific background. So this is very important. Let's say if you are writing your first paper and if you are explaining your entire paper with all these sections, then it will help reviewers and the technical chairs who are all reviewing your paper to understand how effectively you have done your research and how effectively you have connected each and every sections with more clarity. So these will lead to acceptance. There are high chances your paper may get accepted across conferences or journals. So that's why I'm adding all these points. So next is research methodology, selecting effective research methods. So this is applicable for analysis based works like outline data collection methods, like what are all methods you have employed to collect data, whether you have collected it from some databases, online databases, or whether you have collected data from different pages using tools, AIs or bots, and then justify your method selection, and then discuss, like after collecting data just try to explain how you are sorting the data, how you are filtering your data, how you are censoring your data, so why you are censoring your data, and so that you can discuss. Then post that you can add like what are all equations you are going to use for analysis, and what are all tools you are going to execute your simulation or analysis using all this data. So research method is nothing but the steps involved in drafting your entire research. It may be descriptive work or it may be experimental work. Just the methods. So please do not write your research methods in simple manner. So try to write it more technically. So that will give you better results. I hope I'm clear.
Yes, sir.
All right. So acknowledging your data sources. So this you can add after conclusion thing. So we have to add proper citation or the sources of data. Then you have to give proper attribution to every sensitive information you use, and so that will enhance your research credibility. For example, if you cite some database or example or if you cite some what to say demanding paper, if your paper gets published, definitely they will get notification like xyz researcher has cited your article, then they will come to your paper, they will read your paper, at what section you have referred them or you have mentioned them. So in that way you will be gaining more visibility, right? So that's why it's very important to add or acknowledge every information we use. It may be a tabular column, it may be an image, it may be an equation, it may be a single number. So that's important. I'm not stating like you need to add references or acknowledgement for each and every line, each and every word. So you know for what information you need to acknowledge, right? So you just use these things. And the final one is like, if you add proper citation or proper references or proper information on this acknowledgement part, so it will allow reviewers and technical chairs to cross verify or to verify the results or to verify the legitimacy of your information or content provided in your research paper. So this is what the importance of citing sources. I hope I'm clear. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so this is optional section. So this is not mandatory. If you want to add the overview of research findings, you can add it, or you can discuss everything under the results section. So provide a clear overview of all your findings. So here my key pointer or key point what I want to mention is, rather than drafting your research paper with only descriptive content or only like quantitative like numerical thing, just with numbers, equations and all, so try to add some visual representations. It may be a illustrative chart, it may be a graph, or it may be an image. So that will help readers to understand your paper effectively. Okay, let me give you an example. Let's say I am giving you a paper, a 100-page report that comprises of only descriptive contents, no images, no table, no equations, just descriptive content, theoretical content. So will you be interested to read the entire paper? I'm asking from
No, sir.
psychological
Like
perspective.
personally, no, sir, because like visual contents really attract us and try to engage our mind. And if there will be not anything, like it will be really boring. And like if it will be too long, then we might take a nap while reading also.
Yeah, so this is one perception of me, of my. This is one perception. My suggestion to add visual representation, and the second objective is, second perception is, so in this current world, in this current scientific or publication era, as you know, like nobody has time to read the entire report. If you add limited, proper and resourceful representation, so that will help readers and researchers to summarize your entire paper with looking at the images or charts or the table itself. So in simple terms, what I'm trying to say is summarizing your entire draft in 4 to 5 images. I hope you are getting my point.
Yes, sir.
So this is my second perception, which I want to recommend. Just try to understand what I'm trying to say. You can incorporate like while writing your draft or report. If you are writing a review article, you can add some sort of mind map kind of chart. Like initially we are segregating papers under this category and this category. So we are collecting information from these sources. You can just highlight every information through some charts itself, though it's a review article. It depends on your skill or your intellectual mind, how you are representing it through images or graphs or charts. Okay, fine. So next, the results part. Anybody want to comment? What are all things we need to consider or we need to focus while explaining the results?
Like, sir, can I say?
Yes.
Sir, like after explaining methodology, after doing everything, doing literature review, scientific review, like what is the outcome? What outcome we get? Like what is the result, and how this result may affect that kind of field or project.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, like we can add this, like what type of findings, like something like what we find, like at the we can say outcome of that our input.
Mm-hmm.
So that we can mention that, and give that how this research can help human civilization, or how they are beneficial. Mention this.
All right, perfect. So I want answers from everyone. If you, as I stated earlier, if you want me to discuss additional content out of the presentation, then I want proper interaction with everyone. I want everyone's suggestion. So that will help me to understand how far you guys have learned, how far I need to present, or how far I need to communicate the thing.
Yes, sir.
Anyone? See, I can simply go like other startups, just showing the content, reading it out, explaining the thing, then move on. So my objective is completely different. I want to train everyone who can involve in deep research, and like everyone can understand what research actually is, rather than what we see every day across social media platforms. I would appreciate everyone if you guys share your perception or thoughts on this. It's okay if it goes wrong, it's okay if you don't have any experience.
Sir,
Yes.
I have a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
If we have completed our work, I have completed my report and something like that, if it is not based on experimental research, how can I do my results? Uh, like, I don't have any strong conclusions on that. So, how can I present it?
You want me to, you're willing to share that presentation?
Mm,
I didn't get you actually.
it's not. I have done. If I have done an experiment, and I have completed my research, sir.
Okay, so
Just in case.
you have done your experiment and you got your results.
No. I have done my research actually.
Okay.
It's not actually based on experimental research or something. It's
Okay.
just a conceptual research.
Okay.
How can I explain my results or something like it's only a concept, right? How can I include it in a result like that? I'm asking, sir.
So for conceptual work, you don't need to add the result section. Like you will be
Oh,
writing only conclusion,
okay, sir.
or what to say, a proposed results or proposed or expected results or expected outcomes that you can add. So where you'll
Okay, sir.
be adding like that. So you'll be predicting something. So we
Mm,
may get these results, or we may be getting. So like that you'll be adding. That is expected outcomes. So that's not
okay,
results.
sir.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Sir,
sir.
like then we can publish the research like in which they are completely theoretical.
Sorry.
Can we like so means we can also publish our research which are like only on conceptual base, on theoretical. Like they have no, they didn't have any mathematical equations like to prove this. Or in the conceptual research, we may add some like laws also, like conceptual laws which give a give our give us edge, some kind of
Yeah,
like we are.
I got your point. So it depends on the type of the type of journal or we choose. Initially, every conference accepts this kind of paper, but when it comes to journals, some journals accept, but some journals not. So you need to identify such journals, and you need to check their scope, whether they are accepting this kind of paper or not. So let me give you one more example. Some journals accepts and publishes negative results.
Sir, then it may may not be very useful, because if it is totally on our concert base, then it most probably it may be wrong, because here we are just predicting something.
See,
So
conceptual
like,
work we need to give more importance because before having all these kind of modern technologies, so what researchers used to do in the ancient days or past days, they just used to conceptualize, right?
yeah, sir.
But nowadays, what we are trying to do, we are just trying to validate. We are trying to prototype. We are trying to design the prototype and validate the same concept through experiments or real time observations.
So, sir, like suppose I propose an conceptual idea name as X, and it get published, and after 1 decade, using that same idea, a company started their startup.
Okay.
So, like, does I have any right to claim that it's my idea that you are taking, like a patent thing, or it is a conceptual thing, so I don't have any right on that idea?
See, if you're doing a research publication, you have very limited rights to intervene with that company. But if you have IP, intellectual property, or the patent, then you have full rights to intervene with that company.
Okay, sir.
Hmm. So if you are going for IP, then definitely whatever profit they generate, they has to pay some part to you. If it's a IP, in term if it's a research, so they can simply ignore you just by mentioning your name as credit, research credit, image credit, design credit. That's all. That's sufficient.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah. So let me explain the thing. So while explaining your results, so you need to align your findings with the existing research, like comparing your results with the existing one, and you need to add what's the importance of your results and how it's going to create an impact on upcoming research. So these are all two things you need to consider. And last but not least, you can add future research directions. Let's say as part of this research, we collaboratively we got 70 to 80%, like results with the 70 to 80% of accuracy. And in future we are, what we have planned is we'll be using some XYZ method to get results with 90 to 95% of accuracy. So that's what future research direction is. So these are all things you need to consider while writing your results part. Okay. So finally writing a conclusion part. So these are all 3 points which I want to mention. First one is you have to recap your main findings and you need to explain more about the significance of your study. Then future research directions. Either you can add future research directions under results section, or else you can write your results with first 2 pointers. Then you can write your future research directions under this conclusion part. I recommend to write it under conclusion only, so rather than writing it under explain results part. And one more thing I want to mention is discussion. So here you can see after results we have discussion part, right? So under discussion you can discuss your results, like what are all challenges you faced while getting these results, and how you have refined your results, and what's the error, how you are going to correct errors. So just explaining the result in brief. So that is what we call as discussions. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. We need to do discussion with someone, and if we are doing discussion with someone, then can we mention their name?
Yeah, that depends. We can do, but it depends.
Okay, sir. And sir, can you give me like I am bit confused between abstract, overview, and result, and conclusion. They both contain mainly the same amount of thing.
Yeah,
Mostly.
sometimes it's same. So um, so in the results section, like in simple terms, you would be just writing the results. Let's say I have followed some two to three methods. From method 1 I'm getting this result, from method 2 I'm getting this result, from method 3 I'm getting these results. So comparatively, if I compare the three results, I found the second one is more close or accurate compared to two others. That's all. You can end your content with this information itself. So that's the results. You don't need to add any other explanations, or you don't need to add any additional description, explanation. Yeah, that's all. That is result. Overview is additional section. Like if you want, you can add it either after abstract or literature review, or you can ignore. Overview and abstract is very similar. Like in case of abstract, we will be writing in very short. In case of overview, we will be writing the entire paper, like what to say, it's a kind of extended abstract. Instead of just abstract, it's a extended abstract, where we may be having some 500 to 600 words.
Okay, sir. I
Yeah.
understood.
Okay. Now, so significance of properly citing references. So these you guys know. Citations, like references, will help reviewers to validate your research, cross verify or cross check your content, and citation requirements may vary. So this is important, especially for review article. I hope I've given one example. Let's say like I'm proposing a research just by reading 10 research papers, and I'm proposing one more research by reading 150 papers. So which one you guys will accept?
151, which will have more number of citation references.
Yeah, definitely. Because if I read more paper, then I'll be having enough knowledge to analyze and propose something new, right? So that is what citation requirement may vary depending on the type of paper you write. But here what I want to mention is, okay, sir told in case of review article we need to have at least 1 to 150 references, but you may have referred some 20 to 30 papers. So let's add some irrelevant references to the reference sections, so that will lead to rejection.
So it also gave a sense of security to the researcher, like he is very consistent and read so much articles. So his research may be like well enough.
Yeah, so that's what citation requirement may vary. And for research, original research and concept based papers, what I recommend is we need to have at least 15 to 20 references as part of that work. And the last point is consistency is key. So while writing reference page, you need to follow standard citation format. Whatever format you follow, that's all right. If you are following APA, use the same APA format across all the references. And if you want to follow IEEE format, just follow the same format for all references. So these are all important things. If anybody,
So,
if yes,
sorry to interrupt. A few time ago, I asked you about that code. You said that you can add a link of GitHub here. So can we add that link in that citation side or in that link result part?
so in terms of GitHub link, that you can write it under a different section. Like
Can you?
some people used to write the entire code under appendix section.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, some people used to write it under a section called source codes or project sources. Yeah, thereby mentioning the repository name, the links, and additional informations. So after conclusion.
Okay, sir.
Mhm. And then so if anybody have any question, please unmute yourself and talk. Like I can't see like whoever raising hand behind this presentation slides, because the slide is in full screen mode. Anybody have any questions?
No, sir.
Fine then. So let me move to the next slide. So what are all common pitfalls in drafting research papers? So these are all main pointers which I got from my personal experience. So that's what I've mentioned here. Anybody wants to add any other comments on this? So why um, we are encountering paper rejection from journals, conferences, and why we are finding it very difficult to get our first paper published initially? Anybody wants to comment?
Like, sir, from what I see, if you are going for a scientific or a research paper which has mathematical like equations, try to have a deep knowledge in that part. Like, you can hold that subject and have a more scientific. Like, you should have the mastery in that area, because if researcher asks you about or something that you missed that, and there is another thing that I need to mention, like after you completed your research, many people doesn't like review it again. So like sometimes they miss some part, or like there are a lot of grammatical mistakes. So it should be like avoided really, because if should be a grammatical mistake, then many researchers leave that research, even there have a good amount of research citation and proper title.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what about others? Anybody wants to comment? Come on,
I
guys.
think poor
Yes.
writing and structure is one of the major reasons, because sometimes if the results are not shown in a clear manner, it won't be very understandable, and that would be one of the reasons why it's getting rejected.
All right, that's correct. See, we have open access journals as well as subscription based journals. So if you are going for open access, you are paying certain amount for your publication. Definitely reviewers and copy editors, they will focus on each and every sections. They will try to refine, they will try to structure, because anyhow they are going to do publication. So that is one part. And if you're going for subscription based journal for your initial publication, it depends on the psychological mind of peoples or the reviewers. If anybody wants your research to get outreach to the scientific community, definitely he will focus on each and every section. He'll try to correlate, he'll try to review every information. So this is one point. And one more point is, usually reviewers used to review papers for free. In that case, they don't want to waste time when reviewing unstructured paper, right? So they will simply reject, that's all. So you need to have all these things in your mind. So my first point is over exaggerating the findings. Sometimes what happens is, as part of our journal, Acceleron Aerospace journal, and one more journal we have, so we used to receive multiple papers. So some early career researchers, they used to exaggerate the same findings again and again in each and every section, which we don't like, and we simply reject those papers. Okay, so that's one point. And improper citation practices, that is the citation style or the citation format for all your references part. So that may put reviewers in complex situation, like, or in difficult situation to identify proper sources for validating or cross checking your content. So that is second point. And neglecting the structure or formatting, so that we have discussed in the first instant. If you don't focus on a proper structuring, like your entire paper, then definitely it won't help reviewers, right, to understand, or to understand each and every section of your paper. So that's why structuring is very important, and that's what every journals want. If you are willing to submit a paper, you need to format your entire paper based on their journal format. So that will help their reviewers to review your entire content. So that's why it's very important to focus on the structure part. Okay, and the last point is clarity and coherence in writing. So just adding some questions in the first sections, writing answers for the same questions towards end, like just messing up with all the informations. So if you're doing a research, if you're writing a paper without knowing all these facts on all these terms, then definitely you will be messing your paper with the information. So that we won't be able to write a clear informations, and it will be difficult for you guys to connect the logical flow for your review paper. So these are all common disadvantage or the common pitfalls why young researchers are receiving more rejections from journals as well as conferences. And yeah, so that's all from my end. Anybody, if you have any questions, you can comment.